So here's a way of voicing chords for a blues 145 in A, and we were looking at the first voicing is going to be from this E7 shaped bar chord at the 5th fret, but instead of doing the whole bar chord, we're just going to bar the top 4 strings, have the open A string because the chord is A, and the G string is at the 6th fret, and you're going to get that with your second finger. So you've got 0, 5, 6, 5, 5. And you can pluck it like this, where a thumb is getting the root note, and 3 fingers can pluck the top 3 set of strings or the next set of strings. So it's up to you, giving you different voicing depending on which set of strings you pluck. That's the D, G and B string, with the first, second and third finger, and that's the G, B and top E string. So you can get a different voicing just by staying in the same position with your fretting hand and changing which strings you pluck, and that'll give you a different voicing. So anyway, let's say we pluck the top 3 strings with the 3 fingers and the thumb gets the root. And the next chord is your 4 chord. It's D, it's a dominant, there's 3 dominant chords. A7 is your 1 chord, D7 is your 4 chord, and E7 is your 5 chord. So no matter what the voicing is of those chords, they're dominant 7 chords. This is a typical 12-bar blues. And our second chord, our D chord, our 4 chord, was going to be, I was doing this voicing, which is a D9 voicing. Yeah, so that's instead of a D7, a D9, so it's a slightly more complex chord, it's got 1 more note to it. And I'm barring the top 3 strings, and with the thumb I'm either getting the 4th fret of the D string, which is the 3rd of the chord, or I'm getting the root of the chord, which is the 5th fret of the A string. So the whole shape is from the A string, 5, 4, 5, 5, 5. So far I got this. Let's see. And I'm muting by releasing the pressure of the fingers when I'm fretting. But when I'm playing the A chord, I've got an open string, so I'm muting that by bringing the picking hand, palm muting, side of the palm, muting the strings. Okay. And then back to my 1 chord, and then a different voicing of the 1 chord. I've gone up to the 7th fret and I'm doing a D7 voicing of the 1 chord. So that's 7, 9, 8, 9. And then I'm putting that 2 or 9 note in there. So I've gone from a D7, an A7, my 1 chord, to an A9. And then back to my 4 chord, and I'm going to do this voicing this time, which is your A7. Yeah, A7 voicing. These 2 fingers are doing an A7 shape. This finger is doing the capo, is acting as a capo. So that's your A7 shape, and you're taking it up there. So you're barring the 5th fret, and that's giving you D7. And I'm using this shape because then all you need to do is add the 2nd finger to the 6th fret of the A string, that is 1 fret up from the root note, to give you a D sharp diminished, and then that can nicely lead us back to the 1 chord, and we've got this bass run of 5th fret A string, 6th fret A string, and then I'm going to fret the whole of the A7 in the E7 bar chord shape. So I can get that 7th fret of the A string, so I get that movement. Yeah, so okay, and then I'm going to go up to that that voicing of the 1 chord again, the A7 chord, in the D7 shape, but I'm going to move that little finger up from the 9th fret to the 10th fret, and that gives me basically a 7 sus4 chord. And then I'm going to go into this shape, which is a diminished shape. So I've got an A sharp, excuse me, I've got an A sharp diminished. So I'm doing A7, well, A7 sus4, and then A sharp diminished. Okay, so that's 7, 9, 8, 10 for the A7 sus4, and then 8, 9, 8, 9 for the A sharp diminished, and then that's leading us up to a 2 chord, which is a B minor 7. If you got big enough hands, you could just bar the 7th fret and take your little finger up to the 12th fret. So I'm just plucking E string at the 7th fret, and then 7th fret and 7th fret. 7th fret on the G string, 7th fret on the B string, and then 12th fret on the top E string. If you can't get that far, just you can just do a bar. Yeah, you don't even have to put any other finger on there. You can just bar at the 7th fret and pluck the root note, the bottom E string, and the top 3 strings. And then you're going to have this bass movement. So you're already on fret 7 with your bass note. Then you got fret 9, 10, 11, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then you got this movement, which is 12th fret of the top, of the bottom E string, 12th fret to 7th fret to open bottom E string. So we've got, yeah, so that's going down to open string, and then 2nd fret, 3rd fret and 4th fret. So I got this. Yeah, so that part is 2nd, 3rd, 4th fret, leading us to the 5th fret of the E string, which gives us the note A. Yeah, so we're back to the 1 chord. So and then we're going to do this for our turnaround: a 1, 6, 2, 5, 1, 6, 2, 5. They've all been made dominant 7th chords, the 1, 6, the 2 and the 5, and they're all approached from a semitone above the root. Okay, and this is very typical voicing that you hear in jazz, because shell voicing, that is the root note and then the flat 7 and major 3rd of the dominant 7 chord. So here for this first chord, the A7, I've got 5th fret, so this is all going to happen on the low E string and the D string and the G string, that's from an E7 voicing, and then it's going to be on the A string for the root, but still on the D string and G string for those 2 notes, which are going to be the flat 7 and the 3rd of the chord. So let's see what time is. Okay, so for the first chord I've got 5th fret low E string, 5th fret D string, 6th fret G string. Then I go up to this shape, which is from the C7 shape, and I'm just going to pluck the 10th fret of the A string as my approach note down to the root note of my 6th chord, which is an F7, F sharp, sorry, 7. So I've got, and when I get here, it's on the A, D and G string, 10, 9, 10. And then I'm going to approach my 2 chord, the root of my 2 chord, from a semitone above. So I'm going to go 8th fret the E string to 7th fret the E string. So far I've got this. And then I'm going to put my 3rd finger down on the A string, 8th fret, as an approach to 7th fret A string, which is the note E, which is my 5th chord. And then I'm going to put my 1st finger on the 6th fret of the low E string for that A sharp, which is an approach to the root of the 1 chord, A, A7. So all in all I've got this. Now all through that, the shape that you can keep are these 2 middle strings. So the anchor fingers, this shape goes all the way through that whole progression. So when I start off, I've got my 2nd finger on the D string, 5th fret, and my little finger on the G string, 6th fret. And those fingers are anchor fingers, and they stay in that shape, and they just get moved around. Yeah, so these 2 are still, the 2nd and 4th fingers, still the same shape. Same shape, same shape, and then you're back there, same shape. Okay, hope that helps.